Hi, and welcome back to Green Disruptors, Scaling the Future. I'm your host, Megan Kjar, and this podcast is brought to you by Mountaintop Social Marketing, where we help green tech companies scale without relying on paid ads. Today, I'm joined by George Blackstone, CEO of Watts Matter, a company making serious waves in the energy efficiency space. Whether you're curious about smart lighting, clean energy finance models, or the real-world results of circadian lighting in schools, you're going to love this episode. Let's dive in. We are lucky to have George Blackstone on with us today, so I'm going to let him introduce himself. Hi, George.
Hi, Megan. How are you? My name is George Blackstone. I'm CEO of Watts Matter.
And where are you located?
Right now, I'm in my Seattle office.
Nice. So tell us a little bit about. First, we'll go into what your company does, what Watts Matter is doing, which is pretty exciting. You've got a very intriguing business model, which is really setting you apart. So go ahead and tell us a little bit about your company.
Well, since 2008, we've been passionate about reducing energy consumption and producing on-site energy. Our focus is on commercial, industrial, and government buildings. We currently operate in 9 countries.
Okay, so you explained it to me how the thing you usually start with that a lot of people need is lighting. So tell us about that.
Yes. Perhaps our strongest measure is our ultra-efficient lighting. Since the onset in 2008, we have always built our products with the diodes that are at the highest level of lumen efficiency. What started out as 80 lumens per watt in 2008, we're now building our products with 260 lumen per watt diodes and typically average 200 lumens per watt from the fixture, which is industry benchmark, unmatched by any other company worldwide in the lighting space across the entire product line.
Now, are all those systems that circadian lighting, or is that separate?
Circadian lighting is a software that we've developed that will allow us to mimic the sun light in an indoor environment. And we do that by building the light fixtures with 2 different colored diodes, 2700 and 6500. And the software mixes those colors that corresponds to what you would get outdoors. So it's a sunrise, sunset.
Okay,
effect.
so that changes depending upon what day it is. And so the sensor would be able to know via the computer system how to adjust that as the day goes on. Is that right?
Yeah. Yes, it has a geolocator within the software. So it doesn't matter where it is on the planet, regardless of the time zone or daylight savings time, it adjusts and corresponds to the reality wherever the system is in the world.
Okay. There's a lot more to your company and what you do, but I was definitely intrigued by what you're doing with the schools. So maybe let's talk about that, and then we can segue into your other commercial endeavors.
Sure. Out of our London office, we've launched a countrywide school lighting upgrade program. The UK has outlawed fluorescent lights.
Because they're awful.
Yes, it's the worst form of lighting to run all day long. And unfortunately, 70% of the schools still have fluorescent lighting. And they don't, even though it's outlawed in the UK, they don't have the budget to upgrade the lights. The schools have been under financial pressure and have had to eliminate curriculum and extracurricular activities, whether it be drama or sports. And we have, in response to this crisis, because to have children sitting in a classroom under fluorescent lighting all day long is the absolute worst thing you could do. And taking it into consideration, they have no budget. We have developed a program that we call Lighting as a Service, which allows us to install new lighting in the school, and from the savings due to our ultra efficient lighting, the monthly payments over the term of the contract are less than the reduction in the energy bill. So the school gets new lights. They actually will show a savings every month, and then at the end of the Lighting as a Service contract, we turn over the entire system at no additional cost to the school, and then they enjoy the full benefit of the lights. In addition to the benefit of the ultra-efficient lighting that we install, we're also including our circadian software to give the students the benefit of being under artificial light that mimics the natural sunlight. Yes, and research has shown that the benefit of circadian lighting in the classroom, there's a substantial increase in cognitive uptake, test scores are improved, the children are less restless, and it's a much better teaching environment, not only for the students, but for the faculty as well.
Absolutely, yeah. It helps everybody's energy and mood and your ability to learn. So basically the school, and this is does mimic your business model broadly, but the schools can basically get the new lights without any upfront cost to them. How long is a typical contract?
Depending on the mix of lighting, it can be as short as 5 years or as long as 8.
Which they're spending that money on energy anyway. And
exactly.
From day one, it's going to be less. Like the subscription is less than what they're currently paying. So it's pretty incredible.
Yes, and we guarantee that in writing with recourse. So there's absolutely no risk. The additional feature of our lights is they have a documented useful life of over 100,000 hours as compared to the industry standard of 50,000 hours. So we get more life, less wattage, lower the carbon footprint, and deliver the circadian lighting benefit for the students and faculty with zero upfront cost and guaranteed cash flow positive from day one.
Yeah. So that's basically the same way that you're acquiring other clients around the world as well. So what kinds of facilities and companies are you working with besides the schools in England?
Our primary target is the industrial and commercial and government buildings. We do not. Years ago, we were involved in residential. We no longer are in the residential space. We're focusing on the larger buildings for industry and government.
That makes the biggest impact because they're the biggest users. So
yes, and the same financial model is used whether we're doing lighting or energy conservation measures that are focused on the incoming power, whether it's a voltage optimization or removing the harmonics in the inbound current, optimizing that energy for efficiency. We have measures for the HVAC system. We can lower the operating costs of the heating plant or the air conditioning. For the ventilation system, we have a state-of-the-art motor that we replace. It produces the same horsepower using 1/3 less electricity. We also install CO2 sensors to monitor the occupied space and allow that to be the driver for the air changeout. We have found that when the building is empty, without this feature, the ventilation system is operating at full capacity, unnecessarily doing expensive air changeouts when it's not necessary.
So to me, you clearly are a savvy businessman and you've really created a kind of a unique corner in the market here. But how did you get into this industry, like personally?
Well, it's kind of an interesting story. I was in a movie theater watching Al Gore's Inconvenient
Truth, yeah.
And it was so impactful
Yeah.
that before the movie was over, I told the person next to me that I intend to dedicate the rest of my business career on making a difference around this topic. This is my sixth major business that I've launched in my career, and the most gratifying. We not only are helping our clients save money and reduce carbon, but there's a tremendous sense of satisfaction that we're doing something to have an impact on climate change rather than wringing our hands and talking about it at cocktail parties.
Yeah. So what were you doing before you watched Inconvenient Truth?
Well, I was developing a 400-acre, 10-phase mixed-use development in Mexico.
Wow.
Yeah. Prior to that was a software business. Prior to that, I was in the environmental space and developing brownfield and greenfield sites.
So you're a serial entrepreneur.
Yeah. I enjoy the process.
Yeah, very cool. So how is it going? Like, how do you find these industrial clients to come on board? I mean, you have such a good offer. It seems like it's a pretty easy sell, but how are you getting your foot in the door in the first place?
Word of mouth gets a lot of work for us because we've been at it for over 16 years.
Yeah, got a reputation.
We've got a nice reputation, and we're dealing with some high-profile clients. So, our website attracts new clients, and then we have targeted marketing programs where we're focusing on our target audience and messaging them with the offer and responding accordingly, and sending our field salespeople in to do an energy survey and present the proposal for the client, whether it's lighting only or lighting with energy conservation measures. It's the no upfront capital, whether it's lighting as a service or energy as a service. And then on our renewables, whether it's solar or combined heat and power, it's the same concept where the client puts up no money. They enter into a power purchase agreement that lasts anywhere from 15 to 30 years. We have a stipulated rate that generally is 25% below what they're currently paying. And they enjoy that savings throughout the contract period.
I had a question, but my mind just went blank. It was a good question too. Yes, I remember now. So how does your company absorb the cost of doing these installations, but only having the subscription fee? Like, were you able to do this in the beginning, or did you have to get some outside funding?
Well, actually, the company has been self-funded. We're currently putting together an offering for the bundling the contracts that we're getting. We're going to securitize those and put them into the public space to generate additional working capital that we can plow back into into our program.
Very cool. So I mean, yeah, were you able to be self-funded just because of other successes and just like, or did you, yeah.
Well, this is my sixth business, and
So
the
you
previous
were able to
five,
roll it over.
yeah, I've had fortunate to have some nice exits.
Yeah. That's that is just really nice because I know from all the other people that I have talked to, like doing these solar and wind and battery anything installations, like most people come to a stopping point because of funding. So, I mean, because you're not privy to, like, you don't have to worry about any outside anybody, so you can operate this business model, which I'm sure a lot of companies maybe wouldn't be in that position.
Perhaps, although there are quite a few companies who are well capitalized and are doing large scale renewable work.
Mhm. So, can you think of maybe like a case study of a company that you've worked with that what that you could have a specific story you could share in an exciting way?
Well, there's so many.
Love to hear that.
Um, yeah, so the lighting is the most dramatic. When we do a full lighting upgrade and incorporate a full controls package, we've realized as much as 88% savings.
Wow,
Um,
that's
yes,
fantastic.
for the schools in the UK who have fluorescent lighting, and we go from fluorescent, which is you know ultra inefficient, to our ultra efficient LED with the circadian controls. Um, we're seeing as much as an 88% reduction in energy consumption um, as it pertains to the lighting load.
Yeah, that is incredible. And I mean, I'm always excited about the carbon impact, but I used to teach school, so that was a particularly powerful message to me, knowing the little things that make such a huge difference in the classroom. And if a kid's doing well in the classroom, they're doing well broadly in life, you know? So that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, and we're finding that the parents of the children really appreciate
I
what
bet.
we're doing, and uh, every time we do a school, we develop a case study and send it home with kids, so the parents know that this not only the savings but the benefits of the children being taught in this under circadian lighting, and that seems to have triggered quite a bit of work where the parent tells the
I was gonna say,
facility manager,
moms talk. Those,
yeah,
yeah,
say, why don't we have this lighting? And they they get in touch with us, and it leads to another job. That's why I said at the beginning, word of mouth is our best source of uh, marketing, because there's nothing better than a personal testimonial telling another interested party about something.
yeah. So, do you have like what's the next phase? Do you have any growth goals? Like, what's the next couple of years look like?
Well, we just opened up an office in Bangkok to cover Southeast Asia.
Wow.
Uh, we have quite a bit of uh, activity in the Caribbean, a major streetlight upgrade for the Dominican Republic. In Puerto Rico, we have a substantial sales pipeline that in total requires about a half a gigawatt of renewables. We don't know yet the kind of impact we can make on the reduction. We're not at that stage yet, but that's a key initiative that we have, and we're getting ready to open up an office in Saudi Arabia as well. We have some opportunity there, and we intend to respond to that.
So, I mean, I guess that's short term. It's just definitely a lot of growth. Like, what do you see the legacy of the company being? Like, what's your long-term hopes there?
Well, in our Center of Excellence in Morocco, we're developing some innovative tech that allows us to capture the heat, the radiant heat that is coming off of a rooftop solar panel
Mm,
that's going to the atmosphere. And our engineers have come up with a way to capture that heat and repurpose it for domestic hot water and running it through a heat pump to produce air conditioning. So that first project should be fully operational in August of 2025, and we've got great expectations for that. On paper, it looks like we can increase the benefit of the solar panel by 2 times. So we'll generate as much thermal energy, useful thermal energy, as we're producing electrical energy. That's going to be a game changer.
yeah.
So in our solar, we're striving to have what I call our unfair advantage with our
Mm-hmm.
uh, enhanced rooftop solar system, just as we have an unfair advantage with our lighting, offering ultra efficient and state of the art circadian. We believe that using our business model of no capex with these two unfair advantages, it will open up a lot of opportunities throughout the EU. That's our next frontier, so to speak. We
Yeah.
have plans on opening up country offices in each of the EU countries over the
Wow.
next 5 years.
I love that. It sounds so like things are just rolling and flowing and you're innovating and again, you've got that unfair advantage. Uh, it's almost hard to ask like what are the biggest challenges right now?
Finding the best and brightest.
Hiring good talent.
Yeah, that's the key of the whole business. So we're developing innovative software. We can now do a walkthrough through a facility, and from a tablet uh, with a very user friendly interface, enter the key data, take photos, record notes, and produce a proposal on the spot that that's actionable. So whether we don't really expect the client to make a decision on the spot, but
Sure.
when we walk through the facility and gathered all the information, we can sit down with the client and show them exactly what we can do and the financial impact and the energy impact and the carbon impact, and uh, send the file to them for consideration and follow up.
So that's kind of the initial free consultation that they get, and so
Yes,
they could know exactly what needs to be done. It's just, are they gonna have you do it? Which I imagine most times they do.
we have a very good closing rate. When we have the opportunity, it's one thing to speak in general terms.
Mm-hmm.
We can reduce, we can produce. You don't put up
When
any
you show
money.
them the numbers, that's
The
what
thing that's
matters.
impactful, yes, is when you can take it down. And every building is different, so you can generalize at a certain point, but when it gets right down to it, there's nothing like seeing the actual results from the building that's in question, and
Yeah.
whether it's the lighting or the HVAC or the potential for on-site solar. Um, it really is an eye opener. It's also an eye opener when the LED has been around now for a long time. It never fails to amaze me to have a client say to us, well, we already upgraded our lights with LED. The next question we ask is, well, how many years ago? It almost doesn't matter. Yeah, well, it almost doesn't matter because for whatever reason, the industry is focused on the cost of the lamps, which is an important consideration. But when you understand the cost of the electricity that you're paying for over the useful life of the lamp,
it's a way more significant number.
Way, way more significant. Yeah. And every watt matters. You can reduce, if you can reduce the wattage and produce the same amount of light, the savings are tremendous. I'll give you one example.
Okay.
On a project in Wales, a manufacturing plant, about 50,000 square feet. I won't mention the competitor. 4 years ago, did a lighting upgrade and put 134 watt high bays that produced 19,000 lumens. The client, tried to wave us off, saying, "Oh no, we just did a LED upgrade," and we train our salespeople to take a deeper dive and look at the lumen efficiency of what was installed. So to make a long story short, we're replacing the 134 watt high bays with our 100 watt high bay that produces 22,000 lumens, 3,000 more lumens, 34 watts less, until you do the math, which is the 34 watts times the number of fixtures times the useful life. It's going to save the client 154,000 pounds. And it will cost them nothing. And from day one, they will save money. And at the end of the contract, this one was because there's other energy conservation measures mixed into the contract.
Yeah, not just the lighting.
Yeah, over the 8 years of the contract, the savings are spectacular. And at the end of the contract period, everything is turned over to them and they get 100% of the savings.
That is highly, appealing isn't strong enough of a word. That's a no-brainer is what that is.
Well, here's another twist that we've added to our offering. We've learned through the years that the industry has turned the warranty offering into an art form, meaning the manufacturers go out of their way to make it very difficult and very time-consuming to make a warranty claim. And I hate to be cynical, but what underlines that is they don't want to make the warranty claim. Well, I take exception to that, and I came up with our pay-it-forward warranty. So based on the worldwide failure rate, which is very, very low, but all electronics have a certain failure rate. So taking into consideration the worldwide failure rate on any given product, we will put 3 times that amount in the storeroom of the client. Our inventory in their storeroom, we get permission, of course, and we give them the authority to draw from that inventory in the event of a failure. So their maintenance people can swap out the light, and there's no paperwork, there's no delay, there's no denying the claim. And when that safety stock reaches the 50% of the original inventory, they're automatically authorized to send us a notice, and we will replenish that stock at no cost. And we will do that through the 10-year warranty that we give on our lights, which again is very unusual in the industry. Usually the industry warranty is 5 years. So we're very proud of the fact that we offer our clients 10 years of no maintenance, highly reliable, ultra-efficient lighting with no upfront cost, and a useful life of 100,000 hours, which, depending on the burn hours, it can be 15, 20, 30 years, 40
Wow.
years.
That's
in the case of
amazing.
schools have, maybe 2,000 to 2,500 hours a year. So they're going to get a lot of useful life out of the circadian lighting that we are installing in the schools in the UK.
Yeah. So just so I understand, that back stock of inventory, that only happens when somebody files a claim, right?
No.
Everyone gets it?
Everybody gets it. Day one, part of the installation, we put safety stock on site at their disposal so they can replace the lights. Sometimes we've been asked, does it cover the labor to replace the light? And you say, well, we could do that, but it would add so substantially.
You'd have to
to
increase the
cost.
prices to the.
To roll a truck to replace a light bulb is not very practical when they have in-house staff who's been doing all that maintenance, and they have all the lifts and ladders and equipment to do that. They've got the maintenance staff. It really doesn't take an awful lot of time.
Sounds more than fair to me.
Yes, and because we only use the highest quality components, the frequency of failure is very, very low. I can't think of a job where we've actually had to replenish the safety stock. That original safety stock
That'll
seems
last
to
basically forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but we offer that to give peace of mind.
Yeah.
And knock on wood, we've never had to replace that safety stock.
Wow, that's really incredible. So, thank you so much for sharing what you're doing. I love hearing from mission-driven companies that are doing so well and expanding and making such a big impact. So thank you for talking to me today.
My pleasure.
Yes, and we'll follow, see what your progress is with these solar heat capture and expansion into Europe. So best of luck.
Thank you.
Okay. What a great conversation with George Blackstone of Watts Matter. I love seeing mission-driven innovation paired with such smart business models, and knowing that this kind of work is already improving student outcomes, lowering emissions, and creating a ripple effect of real change around the world. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and leave us a review. And if you're a green tech company looking to scale your impact, you can connect with me at Mountaintop Social Marketing. I'd love to hear what you're working on. Thanks again for tuning in to Green Disruptors. See you next time.